Well, within this massive vortex of Boynton Canyon, the biggest of Sedona, you have what are minor vortexes. And this is one of them here. This one's called Katina Woman. So many people go up to Katina Woman lookout, and you can see inside of Boynton Canyon, as we're going to be doing. Now, what's interesting about Katina Woman is if you look at the head of Katina Woman, and you see kind of how her arms are like, her hair is like a ram's horn that comes around. So apparently, some of the Star People females were wearing their hair like that. And that's why they call it Katina Woman. Well, what's interesting is that the hairstyle of Katina Woman is just like Princess Leia of Star Wars. If you remember, she also wore her hair in these kind of curved buns. And so she, in a sense, was mimicking the Star People. Her hairstyle was actually quite authentic, apparently. Well, Boynton Canyon was my first introduction to Sedona back in 1987. And at that time, I'd never been to Sedona. I had not a clue what Sedona was about. And so I started talking to people, and they all said, well, you should go to Boynton Canyon. Okay, so I came here, and I walked the trail. I walked deep into the canyon there. And I kept asking my inner guidance, show me where I should go now. What is the best place for me? And after about an hour of hiking, I looked on the side of the canyon wall, and there was a ledge there, and my inner voice says, that's where you need to go. So I climbed up to this ledge, and I started praying, because one reason I was in Sedona, I was in the middle of a belief crisis. And I needed something to believe in again. So my prayer was, show me what I can believe in again. Give me something to believe in again. And then the voice says, look in front of you. So I looked in front of me, and right across the canyon was this three huge, massive pillars. And they looked as though that they had been carved by human hands. And so I knew I was in some place very, very special. So I started looking around the canyon, and I had a bird's eye view. I realized that's why I was directed to that ledge. And down below me in the canyon, I saw temples, many, many temples, virtually covering the canyon floor. And they were made out of the native red rock of the canyon. Some of them were carved, some of them had symbols, some of them were painted. It was like a whole settlement right there in front of me. There were also statues. And the statues and the architecture of these temples, the closest approximation I could make to them were the temples and statues I'd seen in India. And they almost seemed like I could have seen something identical to them in India. So I climbed down from the ledge, and I went to enter one of the temples. And as I was walking around, I would see one, and it seemed to be maybe 25 yards away. And so I would walk towards it. But as I was walking towards it, parts of it started to disappear. And by the time that I actually reached that temple, it wasn't really a temple anymore. It was what you see now, or what anybody would see, is it's what it is on the physical dimension now. I realized that what I was seeing was that temple on another dimension, where it's in its perfect, pristine condition. And I realized this is what that temple looked like when it was first created. And I didn't know it was by a star being at the time. However, one of what I thought was a temple at first was a disc. It was a silver disc with golden discs on all four sides of it. It was kind of like, part of it was kind of like a pyramid, but then it was circular at the end. Now I know that that was a starship. And so I know now that the star people have had a very special connection with Boynton Canyon.